And, of course, Gilbert Realty brings the morning prayer each and every day. They're in the Charming Stone Building across from River Rock Inn. They serve north central Arkansas and south central Missouri. 425-6282 is their number. Give them a call if they can assist you with any of your real estate needs. Morning prayer, once again, brought to you by a student of Mmmm Christian Academy. This morning we have Darren Sherry. This is a recorded prayer. And I don't remember, I believe Darren is a kindergarten student. I'm not sure. I don't have that copy in front of me. But now here's the morning prayer with Darren Sherry.
Dear Heavenly Father, thank you for this day. Please help the Army. Please help everyone that's sick. Please help the people that don't have family. Amen.
Morning prayer brought to you by Gilbert Realty. They're in the Stone Building across from River Rock Inn. This morning's prayer by Darren Sherry, Mountain Christian Academy student. And if you can help the Christian Academy financially, give them a call at 424-6622. They take no government funds and no Common Core. 7:14 on this very cold Monday morning, but it's January. What do we expect?
That's
Mike
right.
is here.
It's January, not July, right?
That's why I'm still shivering.
Yeah.
Well, we were talking before we went on the air here during the break about cold engine stuff.
Sure.
And I demonstrated a little thing on a rubber band here that wouldn't make much sense on radio, but still, cold weather and the effects on the engine, the transmission, the differential, the driveline, anything that's lubricated, that oil is moving about as slow as I am today.
Yeah, on the way in this morning, the thermometer in my truck was showing 14 degrees. And so the truck sat out there all night long, got down to 14. It's not a good idea in my mind to go out and just start one, and as soon as the engine catches, throw it in gear and take off and run the fire out of one. It's not. Give that thing if it's just 30, 40 seconds, give it a little bit of time to get that oil circulated. Many cars now, this is part of the reason we're seeing 020s, 520s.
Yep.
The synthetic oils making a big hit. Mm-hmm. Because cold weather, if you're running 1540, 2050, 30 weight, any of that stuff, you can imagine this morning it was thick and it moved very, very slowly. And
man, I forgot about those old oils.
Yeah, remember that old stuff we used to run all the time? Of course, the clearances were a lot larger on older engines than they are today. But, I was telling you that I go out and I start my truck up and let it idle 5 minutes or so before I leave. And it is twofold. One, I'm a sissy and I like for it to be warmed up. But some mornings I need to defrost my windshield. Mm-hmm. My truck sits outside, so I have to defrost it. And the other reason is it's just good. It's good, a good idea as far as I'm concerned, to let one get just somewhat warm before you take off down the road at 55 or 60 miles an hour.
For folks that don't know, your engine oil, your transmission oil, and your differential oil all have we'll call it the reservoir or the storage area at the bottom of the engine, right. Bottom of the transmission, bottom of the differential. 14 degrees this morning, it's sitting there just pretty thick. I don't care if it's 520 or 530 or OW20 or whatever, it's going to be a little bit thicker than normal temperatures between 60 and 90 degrees. When you crank that engine, it takes it a little bit longer for it to get through the pump, through the pressure unit, into the top side of the engine, whether you have an overhead cam engine, a dual overhead cam, or a pushrod engine like I have. It takes a little bit longer for that oil to get circulated, and that's what we're talking about. And what's your tachometer? Let's talk about engine RPMs in cold weather.
Well, a lot of times I try to keep my engine RPM, especially until the engine's fully warmed. I don't run that thing for all it's worth,
Mm-hmm. And you get the Hemi.
Yeah, the engine in mine I don't know, I think the tachometer, the red line on it's around 6,000 RPM, something like that. I try to keep mine below 3, and probably quite a bit below 3 on cold mornings like this until the engine's warm. Once the engine's warm, they're designed to run. Mm-hmm. But I still it may be old school and it may be needless, but in my mind, until all of my components get up to operating temperature, I kind of baby them along a little bit.
I do too.
I really do.
In fact, on mine, I take mine out of overdrive and I run it in third gear. I don't let it go to overdrive until everything gets warmed up.
And it doesn't take
down the road at 30 miles an hour.
It takes a little bit, but it doesn't take that long to get one up to operating temperature now. Mm-hmm. Mine's blowing hot air pretty fast. Yeah. And I just watch the temperature gauge, and when it gets to where it should be, then, do whatever you want to then. But I think it's a good idea to let an engine and the lubricants inside of it warm up a little bit before we demand a whole lot of performance from them.
What kind of repairs normally come in when it's this cold? What do you normally see?
A lot of battery issues, a lot of heater issues. Robert and I were discussing it last week. I don't know how many stopped up, plugged up heater cores we have dealt with this year, but it's been a bunch. And that's been pretty common, where you everything's fine. You got your radiator's full of antifreeze. It's up to operating temperature, but you have very little or no heat inside your car. And typically, you'll reach down there and you find your heater core, the hoses that run in, your heater hoses, and one of them will be hot, one of them will be lukewarm or cold. And so we have flushed a bunch of heater cores, and we've also put in a lot of batteries. We put in several last week. And I wouldn't doubt that we're going to get to put in several this week. I saw we're supposed to warm up in the middle of the week, but get cold again.
Sure.
Cold weather is just kind of like hot weather. Batteries that are marginal, that had been starting okay in 25 and 30 degree weather, at night, many times those marginal batteries just don't have the guts to start one up when it's 15.
True, yeah.
So we end up, we end up doing a lot of batteries, a lot of antifreeze, thermostat stuff, some belts. We get several people coming in. They'll be talking about belts that squeal when they first start in the morning. And, of course, when you first start a vehicle on a morning like this, the alternator is putting out a big charge, so that's a load.
Yeah.
And a lot of us will flip it over onto the defroster to clear off our windshield, so that engages the AC compressor. You got a lot of pull on the belts and the belt. And so you may have a bad belt, you may have a bad tensioner, you could have both. So we've been doing a lot of that stuff. But it's just typical for when cold winter finally gets here. A lot of people kind of seem to play catch up on getting things done. Yeah.
Wow.
Yep, we did, I bet we did half a dozen, I don't know. I know we did 4 or 5 heater cores last week where we had to flush them out.
Really?
Yeah. And, it makes such a huge difference. And boy, you can hook a water hose up on those things and turn a little bit of water through it. And a lot of, we had one last week, and I don't know what was in there, but it was some nasty looking stuff. And when it flushed out, man, the heat was so hot you'd have to turn it down. And, we do that every year, but it seems like we have done a bunch of them this year.
My goodness.
Yep. Probably a sign that some of the cars we're servicing are getting older.
I was sitting there thinking, okay, I should have got this done last year. And I put it off and put it off. Well, I hate dealing with antifreeze.
Yeah, well, everybody has their pet peeves with these cars. And, antifreeze can be a mess, especially if you don't have any way to deal with it. Just run it out onto the ground or on your driveway or whatever. Antifreeze is poisonous to animals. People too, of course, but antifreeze is a mess.
Yeah, it is.
And I don't know, and I know we got a few places around here that will accept used motor oil and the like. I don't know about antifreeze.
I'm sure they would. Yeah, I think that we could probably find out.
Yeah, but I'm not sure about used antifreeze because that's not a whole lot of value to anybody. They can do things with used oils. I don't know about.
I don't know. That's a good question.
Yeah, be something to try to find out
from the county recycling center down there.
I doubt it. I still have my doubts.
Anyway, battery, cooling system, heating and core flush. What else in the wintertime? Probably lights. Let's check our lights because we're going. I'm down here in the morning when it's dark, and sometimes, 6:20, 6:30 now it's dark, even though the days are now getting longer.
Man, it's dark before that. Yeah. Man, I'm with you. I get up and come to work in the dark, and then by the time I get around to go home, it's usually dark. And headlights, tail lights, all your turn signals and stuff.
Brake lights.
Wiper blades, especially you take a beating. I try to urge people in the mornings, don't run your wiper blades iced over windshields. Man, that's hard on wiper blades. Don't seem like they ever wipe quite the same again after you've done that. So give your windshield time
ice can be like little razor blades.
Yep, it is. It just eats that rubber alive,
Yeah, it does.
So give your windshield time to defrost and and then turn your wipers on to clear the water off. But wipers running over ice is not good for wipers. Just no way.
You want to find out, just take a razor blade and put little slices in them.
Yep.
Even, we've had a lot of rain recently, but anyway, wipers dry out.
Sure.
And I remember talking to somebody a long time ago. Said, "Well, you probably need to put wiper blades." Well, we haven't had rain in 3 weeks. Yeah, but it's been back in July. It's been like 95, 96 degrees, parked in sunlight.
Yep.
Like a Walmart employee or a Harps employee, where they park out in the parking lot. Wipers just sit there and they bake in the sunlight.
Man, wipers have a hard life when you think about it. In the summer, they sit out there and the sun bakes them. Of course, the sun bakes them in the winter, too. It's just not as severe. The UV rays off of the sun are still there. It's just not as long. And then we turn around and we freeze them to the windshield and make them work in 0 degrees, windshield of 30 below or whatever. Wipers have a hard way to go. And I've said before that it seems like the wipers anymore don't seem to last quite as long as they used to, but heck, I don't know. That may not be true. I know wiper blades, if you want good ones anymore, are very expensive. Mm-hmm. Man, the days of being able to buy some $5 wiper blades and get anything worth a darn, it seems to be over.
Remember the old refills?
Yes.
And in my 65 Chrysler, I think rebuilding the engine was easier than putting refill wiper blades in that silly thing.
Yeah, I don't think they even do refills anymore. Everything comes with an arm and a blade,
that way the spring is still there to wipe clean.
Yep, and then you just snap the old one off the wiper arm, which sometimes is easier said than done, and then snap the new one on, and you're back to being good. It's not uncommon now to see some of these wiper blades. You get into some of these Rain-X Latitudes and Bosch and different brands of wiper blades, and they'll be in excess of $20 per blade.
Per blade, yeah.
Yeah. And our vehicles,
for the safety factor, look at the size of our windshield.
Yeah, I was ready to say, our vehicles now have larger windshields. Used to a 16-inch wiper blade
was huge.
Was a pretty good size wiper blade. That's just almost unheard of now.
I got in that old 75 Chrysler that I've got for sale out there, and thought, my goodness, this windshield is so small.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a little bitty. Back in the day, we didn't think twice about it, but yeah, those blades can't be but maybe 15-inch blades on that thing.
Right. It seems like now most all the wiper blades we put on will start a minimum of 19 to 20 and go up.
Yeah.
And we get into some that are 28 inches long on some of these minivans. 28.
I think that's what I've got.
2 feet and 4 inches long on a wiper blade.
That'll sling some water, too.
Yeah. And, just big blades, and they're more expensive.
I just thought of something. Winterizing the window washer fluid. Making sure don't just put water in there, get the proper fluid. They have ice melt. They have 0 degree. They have below zero windshield washer. What else is out there?
Well, the windshield washer fluid that we use up at Minute Mechanic is supposed to be rated to 20 below zero.
20 below.
And we've never had any of our customers come back and say that my washer fluid has frozen. But, of course, it never gets that cold down here, But I would imagine if you lived up north, you would need some that was rated for better than what we sell. Mm-hmm. But for around here, what we sell works great. And, just typical water, just somebody that uses water in there, you got a block of ice under the hood this morning. Mm-hmm. And it won't do anything. And, of course, sometimes if you've got that thing full of water, it may split your tank when it freezes. That little washer fluid reservoir tank.
Oh, yeah, I've had them split before.
Sure.
Yeah. But for safety factor, I think window washers, go to East Arkansas. Get on Highway 63 or Highway 412, and you might get behind in the springtime. A farm truck or a tractor may be slinging a little bit of dirt, and you get that little grit and stuff on your windshield. I think that's as much a safety factor to be able to wash that window while you're driving.
It is. And, washer fluid is relatively cheap.
Sure.
$4 a gallon, whatever it is, $3 a gallon. And it's not like it's a major expense, and it's not something you have to do all that often. Mm-hmm.
But it's a safety factor, in my opinion.
Put that stuff on there. I wouldn't be surprised that anymore they don't make some of this windshield washer. I don't have any of it, but some of it may even have a de-icer in it.
I've used it, and it's good.
Is
Presto
it?
makes it. Yeah, it works.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
now, it's not going to take cakes of ice. I'm talking about frost.
Frost, yeah. Light frost or something like that.
Not if we had sleet or something like that or freezing rain, no.
Yep.
Anyway, down to the final minute mechanics on Highway 201 North. They're across from Salvation Army. 425-3135 is the number. You got time this week to get people in and out?
We do. You got lots of time. We got several things on the schedule already, but we got a whole week to do this stuff. So we got plenty of time to get you in and get whatever you need done. Last week was incredibly busy. I wouldn't be surprised if this one is too.
Good.
And if there's something you need, give me a shout, and I'll get you scheduled in.
Mike, Dennis, Robert, and the whole gang down there is ready to serve you this week, Monday through Friday, 8 to 5. Once again, they're on Highway 201 North. They're across from Salvation Army. 425-3135 is their number. All major brands of motor oils are available. Top quality filters by Wix.
Yep. Man, we got a whole bunch of everything down there. Air filters, cabin filters. We keep a pretty darn good selection so we can get you in and out the door quicker that way.
And if you're concerned about that cooling system not being serviced for the winter, might give Mike a call when he gets down there at 8 o'clock and get some new antifreeze and anything taken care of that might need to be done on your vehicle for that cooling system while it's so cold.
Yep.
All right. Brings us up to news time. We'll be right back.